Just last night on the news, we had a story about Iowa testing of public school kids, which showed some scores in math and English are up now in some grades, but lower, mainly with older kids. So what does your kid need academically right now? Well, Jill Vogt with the tutor doctor of the Quad Cities has some good answers for us today, because I guess kids are still behind in a lot of ways after...
I mean, they're struggling. Lots of kids are struggling, just getting back into the rhythm of school. There's a lot of anxiety about, you know, what they missed.
Because they were most kids were not in the classroom.
Right.
For a long time.
Right, and irregular things stopping and starting, and it just doesn't go well.
So we're building confidence, and we have a graphic that shows that, and that takes time. You're not gonna swoop in and give them a couple lessons and woo, then they got it handled. Rebuilding takes time. A good foundation lasts forever, and then you got all the pieces of the puzzle there.
Right.
And some of those things are psychological things, confidence and passion.
Yeah.
But then there's math. Blah.
Yeah, well, it's probably the #1 thing that is noticeably disrupted when you start messing around with, you know, the daily sequence of learning. You start disconnecting things, and math is the one thing you'll see blow up.
I'll bet because, and why? I wonder. What is it?
It's sequential. You know,
yeah.
you have to build a foundation, and so, you know, we see that with little ones who don't know any math facts or are struggling to remember their math facts. You can't build, you know, higher level math without that.
Math facts, because higher level math starts in about what grade then?
Well, you know, depends on the child. Some kids are ready for pre-algebra earlier than others, but you know, high school, typically Algebra 1 is what you start with, and you need a solid foundation of, you know, operations and facts and being able to manage that.
So for the parents watching right now, and they're thinking, well, how can Jill help my kid? Where do you start with this, and where should they start in contacting you?
So it depends on the child. When we put a special plan together for each child, so we listen to
ages, give me a range.
Any age. We do all ages, even through college.
Through college, right? Okay.
So you know, a family calls and we'll figure out where we need to start with that child. But typically what we're doing is supporting what they're bringing home from school and then filling in what's missing from previous years.
And how many lessons does a kid typically need? I mean, how do you determine that?
Yeah, so my rule of thumb is to figure out how much work they're bringing home and to scale the number of tutoring sessions or the amount of hours per week on that. So there's a little bit of an art and a science to it, but I don't like to have over tutoring going on because kids are already overwhelmed and stressed. So,
well, let's talk about the psychology. The psychology of this. You said anxiety is way up among kids.
It is.
How do you know that your kid has that issue?
Well, there's usually a lot of haranguing after school at home. You know, the unwillingness to sit and do the work, crying, you know, stalling. Sometimes anxiety takes a lot of other forms. They're not sleeping, not eating.
Can you help a kid with that?
Well, you know, you start remediating the problem with school and learning. And
go to the source of the anxiety.
Right. And you know, parents need to be parents. So for them to wear both hats, help with schoolwork and try to be parent.
Too many hats.
Right. They need their parents, and so they need help with the academic stuff.
So you help a parent be a parent, and then you swoop in with helping the kid academically. Does that normally? I
love that word, swoop in.
I like swoop. When you rescue, you swoop, right?
You do swoop. We support.
Support. She doesn't swoop. Well, you could.
We could.
Because I've heard some good testimonials about your work.
Thank
you. You really have turned a kid around when it comes to a. Is it a mindset? What else about it, Jill?
Well, okay, so when a child thinks they can't learn something, they pretty much are telling themselves, why bother?
Why bother?
So, you know, an academic coach, a tutor, sitting alongside a child who says, I can't do this, showing them, yes, you can, let me show you how, piece by piece, and success, confidence.
You're a psychologist.
Well, I am not, but my tutors are great.
So you have, you have a team of tutors.
Right.
All different kinds of people, because I'll bet it depends on a personality as to how they would do with different kids,
so
right?
That is another part of my job, is to make sure I have the right fit tutor for the right need. Some kids need nurturers, but if you're taking AP Physics, you want the goods.
Yes, it's like you've got, I mean, these people have to be academically and intellectually very sharp.
Yes.
To help, I mean, how do you teach a kid unless you know it well yourself?
I have some, requirements, and when I'm interviewing, I can tell if someone's going to be able to sit across the table and do the job.
Yeah. Do you? What's the youngest kid you've ever had to tutor?
I think 3.
A 3-year-old?
No, it wasn't because there was a lack. It was because we also do enrichment. So if you have a little one who really is wanting to read and they're not getting that, so we've done that. And
you've taught a 3-year-old to read.
Yes.
See, now that's a special thing for the parents of littles out there. You're thinking,
right.
I would like that. And I mean, I don't want to talk a lot about money at all, but this is tutoring is you pay a fee for it.
Right.
So how do you determine that scale? Is that on your site?
No, it is, when you call me, we'll discuss that.
Okay.
A lot of it depends on exactly what needs to be tutored, so we do have a scale for that.
Okay.
We do test prep, that's higher even than tutoring.
Well, this is a tutor doctor right here in our area, and do you take care of kids? You handle cases across the Quad Cities?
Yes, I mean the greater Quad Cities area.
And you come to them?
My tutors go to them, or we do online also now that we've had to kind of pivot the business a bit. But
you are pivoting to change your name to Learn for Life.
Yeah.
And we'll talk. We can talk more about that as time goes by. But right now, it's tutoringbettendorf.com.
Tutor Dr. Bettendorf.
Got it. So the information right there, including the phone number, with Jill and her team. Still the tutor doctor now for a couple more months.
Yeah.
Congrats on all this, because everybody's having to readjust their businesses, I think, right?
Yeah, it's life.
I know. You've done a great job on it for many families. So
Thank you,
Thank you, Jill.